Hello and welcome to Crucible of Words for more dedicated legacy action. For Halloween I played a zombie aggro deck, and I did mention that I had a combo zombie deck in the works that I didn't quite have ready to play for Halloween, but if people wanted to see it, I would jam it a little bit later on the channel. Well, guess what? It's later. So we're playing my ZOMBO combo deck. The combo that I'm speaking of in this deck is having either a Corpse Knight or a Wayward Servant in play. So the Wayward Servant is whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, you drain each opponent for 1. Corpse Knight is whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1. So they kind of both chip your opponent down. The Wayward Servant obviously is better because it drains your life, but still they're both doing the same thing if we're going infinite, which is the plan. But how do we go infinite, you ask? Well, Phyrexian Altar. 3 mana, artifact, sacrifice a creature, add 1 mana of any colour. Okay. Gravecrawler. 2/1 for 1 mana. You can cast it from your graveyard if you have a zombie in play. So Wayward Servant is a zombie, and so is Corpse Knight. So we have this in play. We sacrifice it to Phyrexian Altar for a black mana. Then we replay it. We drain our opponent for 1. We sacrifice it. We replay it. And so goes the whole song and dance until our opponent's dead. So that's the combo. It's these 2 cards and either these 2 cards. Now these cards, that's 3 card combo. So not the smallest amount of cards ever. But these cards do things on their own. They're not completely blank. We can beat our opponent down with Gravecrawler. We can get some value by sacrificing it to things like Cabal Therapy or looping it with the Carrion Feeder to grow our Champion of the Perished and get a load of value that way. If we've got an Undead Augur, we can start drawing cards until we find our other combo pieces. So that's kind of the plan there. So we've got this little beatdown plan sort of in our deck with, turn 1 champion and then play some other stuff out, make it big, bash a little bit, etc, etc. And then we can kind of just go, oops, I win with this sort of stuff. We do have a Stitcher's Supplier, which can hopefully dig us towards the Gravecrawler a bit, because we are just kind of trying to draw it. So that's what this is for. Having 4 Phyrexian Altar isn't great, obviously, but we do want to hit our combo and do the thing. And we can adjust the numbers when we think about it at the end. But we just want as many as possible to make sure we can do the thing as often as possible. That's kind of what we're going for, and then we can address it. There's one other thing that I'd like to mention, and that's Rally the Acnestors. So this was an absolute beast back in the days of Standard. It ended up getting some decks banned, if I recall correctly, and you did some very silly things. So it's X, white, white. Return each creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Exile those creatures at the beginning of your next upkeep. So what you do in our deck is you go 2 mana, because all of our creatures are 2 mana or less. So 2 mana into X, 2 mana into the white, return a bunch of creatures. So if they've foiled our combo somehow, like, Fatal Pushes or whatever, we can just rebuy it. So, if we've got a Gravecrawler and a Wayward Servant or Corpse Knight in play, we can just, in our graveyard, we can just go grab those and go around again. So that's pretty cool. And that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish here. We got Cavern of Souls, we can kind of get through counter spells a little bit. We've got some silent clearings, so if we flood out, we can draw some cards a little bit, and we've got a bit of life gain off the Wayward Servant, so hopefully that's going to come out in the wash a little bit, the life we're taking from this, but we might end up getting some really clunky hands with lots of silent clearings, so maybe that's wrong, but again, putting lots of numbers of stuff in, let's just see how it feels. We want to have reliable mana, that's why we got 4 of these. I once played a bad version of this that somebody had played at an event at some point anyway, but I saw, and had a lot of flaws in it and looked quite different to this, but it had the same sort of basic idea with like Wayward Servant and this, but only had 2 Phyrexian Altars, and then it played a load of like bad cards, and that's just not necessary. So I've cleaned that up quite a lot from where it was there, and I've added 2 lands as well because we want to hit our 3-drop here to get things going, and we may as well draw some cards off Silent Clearing if we have too many lands. So that's the plan. Our only sort of real interaction game 1 is going to be the Cabal Therapy, which is going to be able to, strip out a few annoying things here and there, and we can mill it over with Stitcher's Supplier or whatever, and it does fuel our engine a little bit because we can sack a Gravecrawler to then buy it back to grow our champions and our Carrion Feeders. So it's kind of got a little bit of synergy what we're doing. Sideboard is just very clean. Need to kill creatures, we can plow them. We're planning on going infinite, so we might as well have the best removal spell possible. We have 4 Serenity for, people with ley lines or just scary artifact decks. We got 3 pieces of Graveyard Hate. Seems pretty sensible to me. And we got 4 Thoughtseize in case we need more ways of picking apart our opponent's hand. Do we have a lot of weaknesses with this deck? Yes, we do. There's definitely going to be some things that jam us right up. But are we going to try and infinitely drain someone with zombies this league? And do I think we're going to do it? I think we are going to do it at least once. And that's good enough for me. So let's play some Zombo combo. Remember to like and subscribe. Really helps the channel out. I'm trying to keep it growing. The more it grows, the easier it becomes for me to make more content. Because, you know, it takes a lot of time. And I appreciate the support from those who do. But if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, why not just hit that subscribe button? It really helps. And I've got Patreon, check that out, it's in the description, blah, blah, blah. You can get entered into a monthly draw for a free donation deck just by following the low tier on the Patreon for like a couple of quid a month. So if that interests you, why not give that a go? And with all that said and done, let's play some Zombo combo. If you're looking to play Legacy on MTGO like me, why not try Card Hoarder? They're a rental service that I personally use, and I found them better than other rental services that I've used in the past. So why not give them a try? Alright, our opening hand only has one land. But if we find another land, it's going to be pretty good. We are on the draw, so that gives us 2 draw steps to find one of our 22 lands. Statistically speaking, we need 3 draw steps to hit one. Do I want to take like a... Well, it's like a 70% chance or something. I haven't done the exact maths on that. I'm not a maths wizard. I am going... if we get hit by a wasteland now, I'm going to feel real bad. And we can't cast Cabal Therapy. Alright, we're going to mulligan. Let's be sensible. This hand is fine. We're 1 card away from infinitely comboing. We'll keep this. I think we ditch off the Silent Clearing here. Yeah, we'll ditch off the Silent Clearing. I imagine we're probably going to find a land in our like first sort of 3-4 draws. As we said before, statistically we're relatively likely to hit that. So we can play around wastelands and stuff. Alright. We're getting Thoughtseize. They're either going to take the Undead Augur or the Phyrexian Altar, I think. The Altar represents our combo here. So they might just be able to piece together that we have the combo in hand here. But I think it's right to throw the land away and just keep more business, because our opponent isn't just going to sit back and let us goldfish. Even though we do have a 1-2-3 goldfish. But let's see what our opponent wants to do. I think they must be able to do the maths here. Like, it depends what interaction they have. Depends on what they take, I think, here. They've gone for the Augur. Alright, so maybe they didn't see the combo, or maybe they've got the interaction for stuff. So I think we lead out just on the champion here. I don't think we just go 1-2-3. Because we can do this as our 1, and then Wayward Servant is our 2, and then our 3 can be Phyrexian Altar, and then we can infinitely go off then. Yeah, because we can sack the champion for the black mana. So we can still do it this way, but also we have a creature that our opponent might want to devote some resources to. A Death Shadow. They're already down to Death Shadow amounts of mana. Interesting. Stitches Supplier. Alright, this has to be a Scrubland, I believe. Actually, does it have to be a Scrubland? No, it could probably be a Plains at this point. If it's the Plains, we're definitely playing the Wayward Servant out, which can nestle into a Daze, which would be awkward. If we play out the... how much? 4 cards in our opponent's hand. We haven't seen a Daze yet. We get Scrubland. We can play 2 black creatures this turn. Alright, I'm down for that. So, I think the first one is the Stitches Supplier. Because if they Daze this, we can pay. And then we play the Gravecrawler. If they Daze it, it doesn't matter. Also, the more zombies we have in play, the easier it's going to be for our Phyrexian Altar just to win the game. Because we can sacrifice some zombies and then put our Wayward Servant on the stack and do all that jazz. Right, our opponent does have a Daze. This is not the one you want to Daze in my opinion, but... Alright, opponent, carry on. So if we draw a land, we can attempt the win. I think the reason they Dazed that was more to grow their shadow than anything else. Alright, they can bash us for 3. I can live with that. If we don't draw a land, are we playing the Servant? A Murktide Regent. Okay, so it's a lot of damage. I'd like to find a land here and hope that our opponent doesn't have a counterspell. Did not find the land. So 6, and then a bunch from this. Are we jamming our Wayward Servant and hoping to find the combo next turn? We could play 2 Gravecrawlers out, which grows our guy bigger than the Shadow, and gives us lots more mana if we do find the altar. If we play this out, and they attack with both creatures, let's say that's 6 7, 8, 9. We just take it. And then on the backswing, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have lethal if we play this guy out and they don't have anything. So that's going to change their maths. Right, we're just in there. We're not attacking now. I think they're just going to hold back the shadow and attack with the Murktide. But we can gain some life using our Wayward Servant to mitigate potentially a combat step from our opponent, or enough to give ourselves another turn. Maybe not a whole combat step, but we can get a little bit of life going. But if we find the land, we do get to win this game. Now remember at the very beginning of this game where I said we're not going to keep this third land because we're odds on to draw one. Well, we've drawn, what, 6 cards since then and not found one? Our opponent hasn't found a wasteland, which is good. Okay, so we're going to take the Phyrexian Altar here. Yeah, okay. So we don't have an infinite combo now. But if our opponent attacks with everything, they do lose the game. Unless they have something else. Alright, sure. Like, Dismember isn't good enough to kill us this turn. And it will kill them on the backswing, I believe. So, what have they got for their single mana over there? An Undead Augur. That's not really what we want right now, is it? Right, let's play this out. Alright. So if we go to attacks here, this is 5, 6, 7. So if they can kill a creature, they'll kill this, but the time's already gone for this. We serve with everything. If we keep this back, we might be able to block and survive. Just trying to work out if we do need this Stitcher Supplier in play or not. What can they have for 1 mana? Dismember kills them. No, I think we just go in here and just bash. I think we keep this. In case something goes wrong here, we can chump block the shadow. Because they need to have a removal spell now. Did they just mess up the maths on our guys? Or have they got something? No, we're in. We are in. Love to see it. Okay, first game of the league, and we got there. Source of Plowshares, incredibly good against Death Shadow. Cabal Therapy, passable, but not amazing. Are we just going to get rid of these therapies and just play some plows? And just play like a middling beatdown deck? Like sometimes you can just absolutely bury an opponent with therapies, but I think we just want the plows. Now there is also a little card called Plague Engineer, which is not going to be our best friend, because our combo involves looping a 2/1 creature over and over again. And that's pretty hard to do with the old Plague Engineer in play. But what we can do is use it as a sack engine, sort of, so our guy will immediately die, but we'll still keep putting counters on our stuff. We can play on basics here. We are pretty close to combo, and we have 2 ways of digging for it, so we'll keep this. We haven't Zombo comboed yet, but the night is young. I think our opponent messed up that previous one, assuming we would block. Right, nothing from our opponent on 1. I don't want to... Are we going to get stifled here? That would suck. We did not get stifled. Okay. We're going to lead off on the Stitcher Supplier. Because if they have a Bowmasters, we don't care if this dies, but we'd rather try and keep our Carrion Feeder alive, and we can do that next turn by playing Stitcher Supplier out and then playing our Carrion Feeder and then immediately sacking if they have a what's it called? Bowmasters. Sorry, how did I forget the word Bowmasters in a sentence I'd already used the word Bowmasters in? Come on, zombies. They're dazing a Stitcher's Supplier. That's interesting. And this isn't so that they can lower their life total or anything like that, so that's really interesting to me. An Augur. Given our opponent's last play with the daze, I think we just want to play the Stitcher Supplier again. What do we find? I think we pop our Graveyard out because it's a relevant zone. Do we play this Carrion Feeder? It could die, but I think we need to kind of get to a stage. We do need to get a Scrubland here, though. Alright, do you have a daze? And leave us with our 1/1 threat in play. Alright, they're going to float blue and daze again. I would explain why they dazed the first one, maybe, because they're just going to try and back-to-back daze stuff. Okay, so now we've got another way of trying to find one of our little critters. I did consider putting something like Entomb in this deck. Okay, there's the Wasteland. That's not ideal for us. Not cracking it off is very interesting, though. Right, we're just going to slam this now so that we have to do anything in combat. We can at least sack guys and get some things. So this might force our opponent's hand. And we also want to make sure we use the land before our opponent's wastelanded. Is this Bow Boys? It is Bow Boys. What are you going to target with it? You're going to target the Carrion Feeder. Right, we are going to sacrifice this. So we don't get to draw a card, but we do get to save our Carrion Feeder for now. And we found the Gravecrawler. Alright, we are all sewn up. Ready to go now. One slightly annoying thing is Undead Augur. Oh, okay. I was going to say, one slightly annoying thing is that Undead Augur is not a made trigger. But we have the combo available. We just need the cards to deploy it. Now, our opponent is obviously a Surgical Extraction deck. So we need to be a little careful. And they're sat in there with a Wasteland as well. Our Carrion Feeder also can't block. So they can just attack here if they want to force damage. Let's see if they go for it. They did not. We did not find a land, though. That's pretty annoying. But we can just play out this Gravecrawler. Okay. Maybe we needed more lands in our deck that is mostly just playing 1 and 2 drops. Like 20 to 21 this should be fine. We've gone for 22, which I thought was quite a lot. I guess we did mill quite a few here. You want to dismember our little guy. Okay, that's fine. That's probably not how we're going to win this game. So we now have to decide if we want to attack our opponent, because attacking our opponent lowers their life total for Death Shadow. I'm honestly not sure we do. No, I don't think we do. We're winning this game probably with infinite combo, so I don't think we attack and unlock cards in their hand. Brainstorm. Speaking of cards in their hand. So what do we need to do? Draw land. And we've got 2 attempts at our combo piece here. And then we have 1 attempt at the altar. Actually, no, we have 3 attempts. We have double Wayward Servant here. And then we also have the Rally to pick them all back up. Like, Rally is going to be real sick here. Now, Rally does exile them end of turn, but if you sacrifice them before the end of turn, they go into the graveyard. So we're going to get bash for 2 here. They did not shuffle off the Ponder, which doesn't fill me with a huge amount of joy. Oh my god, why can't we draw a land? Yikes. Our opponent's getting close to Death Shadow, but again, I think our clock... We get more time to draw out of this if we don't deploy... okay, that's pretty good. That's definitely one of these sorts of creatures that we need to kill. Like, if we'd have had lands, I think we would win this game if, like, we've ripped some lands. But we had 2 games in a row where we're just not ripping lands despite having them. We did mill over a lot. We probably need to discard something our opponent has seen. I think we're going to get rid of... Let me get rid of the Corpse Knight. They haven't seen it, but it does functionally a very similar thing to another card we've already shown them. This is a little on the frustrating side. But we did get that game win. Alright, so this is going to take out our little Gravecrawler. It's also going to grow their army token. This is also going to permanently remove the Gravecrawler, so we're going to have to find another one. So this is going to be a swing for 6. They haven't seen anything like plows from us yet. A silent clearing into our opponent's face-up wasteland, you say? Into their face-up wasteland. Are we just ploughing this Dalthy? If we do that, we go to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage in play. I don't know how we're supposed to win this one. I think we just have to say no and carry on to the last game. Like, if we drew land, we win that game. A little bit frustrating. I think our sideboarding is fine here as well. Maybe the Rally the Ancestors is a bit difficult in the Days Wasteland deck. We could trim on that and have, like, a therapy. Is that worth it? Have 1 therapy. Let's try this. Love to just curve out and have my lands. Come on. Well, we have lands, but they are redrawing lands. So I'm okay keeping this, I think. As weird as that looks. Like, I'm going to think of these as cantrips instead of lands. But this is just me getting blown out by wastelands before. Now, if we can draw a Gravecrawler, we can kind of just build a big body that our opponent will struggle to beat. Okay, Ponder. That's not like cycling a troll ready to reanimate or anything. So it's not directly impact. They chose not to shuffle. So it's not directly impacting our life total for a few turns still. I think it's important enough that we get our second zombie in. This time, because we might be on an aggro plan, we are going to be attacking and reducing our opponent's life total here. Like the last game we had, you know, we didn't have a lot going on, but we did have a combo available to us. This time, we've got some aggro going on. We don't know how that's going to pan out. No wasteland. This is going to be the game where they don't have any wastelands, I think, because we have all the lands. But we might be firing off these silent clearings soon, but we'll see. Hey, Bow Boys. What would you like to do here? You're not going to like how this works. We're going to sacrifice our Carrion Feeder to itself. This way they don't get a goblin, a orc token, because the ability fizzles. Swords to Plowshares. I don't think this is the spot for casting Swords to Plowshares. I think we'll fire this off. Drawing a card with this is awkward though. I think we just go to attacks. Like, we don't really want to plow this when we have much bigger targets, but it does make these silent clearings a little bit awkward. If our opponent gives us an opportunity, then maybe we can do it. Maybe they play a 1/1 Death Shadow at some point. Okay, a Doughty Voidwalker. This is the thing we actually want to kill with our plows. I'm going to take one here. We will be plowing this Doughty. We can pay around a Spell Pierce, pay around Daze. We're doing it in their turn so that they can't play a Force of Negation. Yes, they gain life. That's kind of annoying, but okay. Let's play a little friend. A little uncounterable friend, in fact. What is this? Are they removing our champion? Dismember on our champion of the parish. Right. I think we play out a Marsh Flats so we can get a white source. That doesn't hurt us. At some point we might have to just start cracking these silent clearings. Castle Lochthwain would have been better. Alright. Murky Boy. Are we firing off a silent clearing now? We do need to find some business here. 5, 6... we will lose our Gravecrawler by doing this. How much is this Gravecrawler doing on this board? Not a lot. Don't like this very much. Alright, we're just hitting nothing. So we hit no lands in the last game, and now we're hitting only lands. Alright. 5, 6, 8. Points of 1 are actually relevant, so I don't really want to crack this. A Corpse Knight. I think we are... Maybe we're not supposed to do it then, but we do want to play our Corpse Knight. Crack this. We get an unwastable white source. Play this out. White. Black. I think we're going to lose this one. This is unfortunate because we won the first game, fair and square. Second game, we got bodied for having no lands. Third game, we're getting bodied for having only lands. If we find a Altar of not Dementia, Ultra Phyrexian Altar, we do win the game next turn if this guy is still alive. Alright, that guy was not still alive. Okay, so we need 2 draw steps to win this one, and we're taking 5, 6, 7, 8. So we don't have 2 draw steps. We can chump block with a champion, which can save us on the following turn. But if they deploy another threat, then that no longer becomes an option. Right, give us a bash then, opponent. Hit me for your finest 8 damages. Just over half our life total. Stitches Supplier. Alright, let's have an uncounterable champion. Let's have an uncounterable Stitches Supplier. Pop our graveyard out, see what we're working with. I'd rather these ones be uncounterable. An Orcish Bowmasters. Yep, that's going to kill our champion. There's not really a way we can play around them having another Bowmasters there. Alright, so we have a chump blocker. Cast this Gravecrawler. I guess we hold back our land and make our opponent think about a plow. But what do? We block here. We take 5, 6, 7. Now they have exactly lethal if they turn everything sideways. Ah, screwed and flooded. What is this? Petty theft. Not necessary, but sure. Oh dear. Yeah, I think with just a slightly better selection of draws in game 2, we win that game quite easily. And this game definitely felt harder, but again, it's hard to judge because we didn't... It's not like we were just trying to look for lands. We needed some business, and some business would have been better than others. But I think our deck gave a pretty good account of itself. We just got pretty ruined by variance there. Like, I'd happily play that matchup again. Felt like one we were relatively odds on to win for a lot of it. Oh well, let's go to round 2 and see if we can draw some lands and spells in a good ratio. Our opening hand does not have any lands. so this is going to go back into the deck. Alright, this hand is keepable. What goes back here? I think Silent Clearing. Too many Bowmasters to play Silent Clearings. Bloodstained Mire. So is this going to be a fair or an unfair deck? I think we play out the Stitcher Supplier this turn rather than the Carrion Feeder. This means that if we're worried about combo, we might be able to Cabal Therapy. I think I would like to Cabal Therapy. Let's see if our opponent does anything here. Are they just going to let his Cabal Therapy resolve, or they're going to have Bloodstained Mire? This could be Storm. It could be Reanimator. Or it could be like a Grixis style deck. Grixis tends not to run the Bloodstained Mires though. So I'm thinking it's either Reanimator or Storm. Both of them are Dark Ritual decks. So that's what we're going to name here. Although if they had a Dark Ritual, they'd probably go on turn 1, right? Entomb for Reanimator. Like, we're probably losing to whichever one it is. We could always name Brainstorm in the blind. What do we need here? Probably not Brim's Barone Midway Mobster, whatever that is. This is a tough call. I don't know. Something in my bones is telling me to get it. Something in my bones is telling me to name Animate Dead. Alright, Plague Engineer. Okay, so we were swinging and a miss there. But we got some important information. They have a Plague Engineer, which is absolutely going to poop all over us. Alright. I don't think our opponent's hand is that exciting, though. They've got a Force of Will they can't cast. They don't commit anything to the board until turn 3. Now, is that going to be good enough to beat us? Oh, yes, definitely. But that's still kind of annoying. Right, so we're going to name Zombie here. And we're in an uphill struggle. That's for sure. So we go black. Play this out. Get this. This is going to force our opponent to use the Lightning Bolt on our Carrion Feeder if they want to clean everything up. And then they're going to Plague Engineer and we're going to have a real bad time. We don't have main deck answers to Plague Engineer because people aren't playing Plague Engineer main deck. But our opponent is. So it's going to get us. I can see why they're playing it so they can name Orc with it and beat Orc Mirrors in like a Grixis control shell. Because they're obviously, as a control deck, they're a bit weak to Bowmasters themselves. Maybe they'll name the wrong thing. I don't think they're going to. Alright. So, what are we doing now? I guess the correct play here is play a Wayward Servant. It's only a 1-1. But we get to play this. It immediately dies. We drain our opponent for 1. And next turn, we can do that a bunch. But they'll be draining for 2. If our opponent doesn't answer this Wayward Servant, then we have a chance in this game. I'm not going to attack into our opponent. That feels like a recipe for disaster. They're going to play another one. Shoalra's Edict. Alright, we have 1 creature. But we still have a Wayward Servant here. So, a Cabal Therapy. I don't think we're interested in that right now. Let's go for white, black. Play out a friend. Play out another friend. Play out this. Do I think our opponent's going to have Wasteland? I think I want a Scrubland because we might be doing a Rally the Ancestors line at some point. Okay. Like, we've got a clock. We just fireball our opponent every turn until they lose the game. Yeah, this Thoughtseize helps us. Reduce your life total opponent. Our cards don't do anything. There's a Polluted Delta. They got Force of Will and a Mystery card in hand. Yep, attack with our Plague Engineer. Right, let's cast this. Let's cast this. Nope. We've got movement over there. Petty Theft. Sure. So I have 1 card in hand, and that card is Force of Will. We could take the Force of Will, or we could just play this guy out again. And just have more mana for next turn. Alright. We are ahead. They found the Lightning Bolt. Now we're in trouble. So we're looking for Corpse Knight or another Wayward Servant, or a Rally the Ancestors is pretty huge here. Since we know our opponent can't cast his Force of Will right now. Corpse Knight, sure. White. Black. Here comes another one. Gravecrawler. That's the Gravecrawler. And if we need to, we can always Cabal Therapy before we try and rally the Ancestors. Yep, here comes the Borrower, but we are quite far ahead in the race. They do bigger chunks than we do, but if we just get to untap and just pour 4 into this, that's going to be a lot. Ah, they've drawn their 3rd Lightning Bolt though. That is a little bit upsetting. Okay, we need to find a white source and rally the Ancestors, I think. Or just another one of these little guys. Undead Augur. That's pretty good. Black. Let's play this. Let's let's pay 1 and draw a card. A Marsh Flats. Alright, let's draw another card. Carrion Feeder. That's not really the one. Do I want to draw another card? This gets us a Scrubland. Oh, it doesn't get us a Scrubland. We don't have another Scrubland. We didn't have another white source apart from Silent Clearings. Okay. I think I would like to have another card. We don't actually get to trade this Augur off, unfortunately. But okay, Prismatic. That finds our white source. So we just need to find Rally and then we win. So our opponent can attack us for 5 here. I think we are blocking this time, saving a little bit of life and drawing a card. It's not exciting, but I think it ends up in our favour here. A Cavern of Souls. Alright, that's a dead draw. Our opponent has a Force of Will, but we can just Cabal Therapy that away. Rally the Ancestors. Oh my god, I'm so good at this game sometimes. Alright, let's Cabal Therapy our opponent. Let's name Force of Will, please. Okay, so just have Colligan's command in hand. So now we get to do the big brain play. We actually get to do it for... Oh, what? Where's our planes? Oh my god, our planes is... Oh, we've milled our planes. Jesus. How do we mill all of our white sources? Oh, that's so annoying. What are the odds that we mill both our Scrubland and our planes? We absolutely had this game if we cast the Rally. If we cast the Rally, we deal... So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. And we're bringing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 9. So we deal like 20 damage to our opponent if we can't cast this Rally. That's so frustrating. That game was absolutely ours to win. And that's really tilting. Okay, I would like some Swords to Plowshares, because they have got a scary friend. Do I think our beatdown plan is that useful? Not especially. Do I think our opponent's going to have Leyline? Ugh. I'm so tilted by that Rally play. Then they're not... probably going to have Surgicals. I'm just going to trim to fit these in. Oh, I can't believe you betrayed me so hard, Stitcher Supplier. Let's just trim. Maybe we are trimming a Rally or trim an altar, I guess. Oh, wow. That is 2 rounds in a row we have got jammed by variants rather than our deck. Like, I don't mind if our deck's bad and we lose because our deck's bad, but that felt harsh. Alright, so we keep this. We have a pretty solid beatdown hand. I don't believe we're supposed to play around Wasteland. Grixis Control tends not to play Wastelands. Let's play the biggest boy in town. Champion of the Perished. Absolutely had that game sewn up, but we didn't have the white sources. That's going to keep me awake at night, I swear. And we didn't hit any other white sources either, like the Silent Clearings. I chose to shuffle, sure. Rally the Ancestors. Well, this time we have 2 white sources. So what are our biggest plays here? I think we play out this guy that will survive some removal, like Bowmasters. Force of Will pitching at Snapcaster Mage, sure. I guess we play Gravecrawler. Go attacks. So the plan is to get the Augur in before our opponent gets the what's it called? The Plague Engineer in. So that at least when our guys die, we get to draw a card out of it. Right, we have to play this before combat. This is the turn we go for this one. Our opponent isn't a Daze deck, so... Alright, pump our team. Plague Engineer only kills one of our guys and draws us a card, so... Not the end of the world. And the guy it kills is one that we can replay over and over again. So we've got a good zombie beatdown hand going here. Alright, our opponent's cracking a Bloodstained Mire, Underground Sea. Badlands. We're going to see like K command. No, it's just the guy. Sure. We have an answer for this already. We lose a guy, draw a card. That's fine by me. Oh, wow, we are close here. Right, Cavern of Souls. Play this. Name zombie. Leave our graveyard popped out. Right, let's plow this guy. No, thank you. Hold on. Let's not use the uncounterable mana for our Gravecrawler. Let's just play this Gravecrawler out now. Oh, yeah. All right. The beatdown got us there. I think we just go back in. We have very few things we want to hit with the Cabal Therapy. Do we want another Undead Augur over a Cabal Therapy? I don't think so. Do we? Cabal Therapy does hit Plague Engineer, but the Augur finds us ways around the Plague Engineer. Sure. All right. We'll try that. It's a little bit slower, but I like the Cavern a lot. And I like the Corpse Knights, because they don't die to the guy. And this plus Rally is just the absolute sickness. So I am down to clan. Oh, we're one away from the combo. One card, well, 2 cards because we need a land. And last time I said we just need a land. We didn't draw a land for like 8 turns or something. So, right, what is this? A Baleful Strix. That is not something I care about too much. Yeah, it can block, but we have got a very good non-combat damage win condition. Right, Cavern of Souls. We'll name zombie. Crack this. We want Scrubland so we can cast up plows and things. And I would like... what would I like here? If we play the Undead Augur, we have the option of drawing some cards. I do like drawing cards. I think we're probably going to be in this one for a little bit longer. So let's just play the thing that lets us get towards our combo kill. And just more resources. So our opponent can't trade effectively with our zombies. Yeah, they could just 1-for-1 this, but it's not a 1-for-1. We gain a card. So we're not just going to run this into a bird, though. All right. Main deck Plague Engineer was very rude in the first game as well. Come on, I believe in you, deck. All right, pondering. So they brainstormed to fix a hand. Now they're pondering to find the last pieces they want. A lightning bolt. We will draw a card. All right, there's our other white source for Rally later on. Don't mind that. Our opponent's probably running Cling to Dust as their graveyard hate. Possibly with some surgicals alongside it. I don't think we expose the Phyrexian Altar yet. I think we just play... If we play the Altar, though, we do have the win like next turn if we draw Gravecrawler. But we're not really under a lot of pressure. I think we're just going to smash down a Corpse Knight. That's the least exciting of our threats. I'd rather have the one that drains life be in play. And we've got many of these Corpse Knights, so... I think the next one we play will be a Wayward Servant. But we'll see. Our opponent just wants to remove everything we play, right? So... yeah, there's a Colligan's Command. We'll discard this Bloodstained Mire. That's pretty clean. A Stitcher's Supplier. This could get us cooking with gas here. Zombie. So we'll play this one first. So white and black. Let's have the Servant. Let's go for black mana here. Let's play this to try and find our combo piece. We put this one on the bottom so that we get priority to immediately play the Gravecrawler if it's in there. It wasn't in there. Alright. But we can play the Altar and sacrifice our Stitcher's Supplier for 3 more looks, so we can have 4 more looks at finding it, or we can just start smashing some Corpse Knights down. Plague Engineer. Alright, so they're going to sacrifice our guy for us. We did not find one of those. We do have a Cabal Therapy if that's the thing we care about, but I think our plan is just to make some Corpse Knights and then just play some zombies. Like if we just have a Gravecrawler, we can just pay X and deal X every turn, but it'll be like X times however many of these bad boys we got. Second Plague Engineer is going to be pretty terrible unless we draw Rally, basically. Undead Augur. Okay, I like that one. We'll play this one first, though. White. Black. Let's get this little friend in. I hope you like Uncounterable Zombies, opponent. Alright. Black. Uncounterable black. Boom. So our next Corpse Knight will be draining for more. I'd rather get the one that draws cards in case they do play like another Plague Engineer. It gives us more draws towards the rally, which will be lethal at this point, I believe. Alright, Brainstorm. End of turn Brainstorm with a fetch land, so they're going to have a pretty good turn, I suspect. Another Plague Engineer is awkward because it means we can't therapy them, which is something I am interested in doing. Maybe we were supposed to therapy with that Augur then, just in case. But they'd have brainstormed away anything scary anyway. Orcish Bowmasters. Sure. What are they going to ping? They're going to ping our card draw? No, they're going to ping our Drain Life guy. Sure. That means... Oh, wait. They're going to... Yeah, I see what happens here. I see. Yeah. Oh, no. All my things. This isn't actually too bad for us, as weird as that sounds. Because we have the combo now. We just need to get rid of this Plague Engineer. But we can do some stuff here, right? We have the Cabal Therapy, so Rally is good. Alright, so I think we play out this land. I think we fire off a Cabal Therapy at our opponent. We name Force of Will. They haven't had an option to cast one yet. Surgical Extraction and Sudden Edict. Interesting. What are we supposed to do about that? What are we supposed to do about that? Sudden Edict. Okay, white. Black. Let's make this guy. I am reluctant to do much of anything here. If I Cabal Therapy them with this guy, we're basically playing for quite a specific act. If we play this Stitches Supply and we mill over a Gravecrawler, we are liable to lose our Gravecrawler to this Surgical. But I think we still do it. Yeah, so we sacrifice any creature we can. Immediately dies. There's no Gravecrawler in there. There's no Gravecrawler in there, right? Okay, so we've kind of dodged a bullet on that one. So we are now just playing Rally, which I think does win the game still. And we can play our Gravecrawler out first, but this is what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rally the Ancestors for the win? No. Oh, what's our opponent got? They want to get rid of our Wayward Servant. Sure. So we can plow this, and we still take 4 because Gravecrawler can't block. Yeah? Ugh. I do not think we deserve to lose that round either, to be honest. The milling over of both the white sources we could fetch with the 2 fetch hands we had, and then not finding another white source in like 7 draws was pretty brutal. Ugh. Yuck. And even in the first game, oh, yeah. And in this game, we're pretty close. Yeah, I feel the reasons we're losing, I don't think are actually because of our deck, which is interesting. So it doesn't feel like we're 0-2, but let's get around 3. Right, we're on the play. Our hand is okay. I'll keep it. Like, we have one of the things we want. Alright, I think we'll just lead out on Stitches Supplier. If our opponent wants to Force of Will this, that's probably fine. A Gravecrawler. Okay, so we've found ourselves another threat. So we can have 5 power by the end of turn 2, which is pretty okay. Now it is all across X1 bodies, but what am I supposed to do, really? That's the deck we're playing. As an Underground Sea. A Thoughtseize. Well, opponent, have a look. It's not the most exciting hand you've ever seen. And you can't really do much. Like, the Cabal Therapy makes sense as the thing you take there. I don't think it's exciting, but that's what they're up to. Right, Scrubland, that's terrible. Splash away. A Cavern on Zombie. So we'll play the first one like this. What do I think our opponent is playing? Thoughtseize off an Underground Sea. That makes me think Doomsday. I think we fire off the Stitcher Supplier. We're going to name Doomsday here. That's what I'm scared of most. We have revealed our combo to our opponent if they can put it together from those pieces. Dismember, Snuff Out. Okay, our opponent's not on that sort of deck. Right, let's play an uncounterable. Interesting. Maybe they're playing like the Scamless Scam deck that top 8 a challenge recently. Snuff Out is very brave in this meta, in my opinion, though. because, you know, Bowmasters is everywhere. Okay, we're going to cross the Snuff out because they are not going to keep that in their hand. That is getting shuffled right into the deck. Unless they've got something even worse they've drawn. Like 2 more Snuff outs. I hope our opponent drew 3 Snuff outs with that Brainstorm. And all the other cards in their hand magically changed into Snuff outs. That's all we want. It could be a Shadow deck that has just that went to fetch the C because it wasn't playing a Shadow in the near future. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. Sure. That makes sense. But I think if they're a Doomsday deck and they're waiting to like turn 2 Doomsday with a Petal or with a Cabal Ritual or something, we'll just stone cold lose to that. Whereas if we miss against Shadow, it's not as bad, but if we miss against Doomsday, we lose the game. So I'm happy with the call I did. Like, the other option was to name Brainstorm, which, you know, is always a pretty good hit and would have been all right there. All right, let's do some bashing away. 4 of your most almighty damages, please. So I think I'm going to play out... I think it has to be... No, we'll play Bloodstained Mire here and use this to cast a Corpse Knight. This is white-black. This way we can play Rally, if that's the thing we need to do. Behold our terrible putrid men. As you'll probably tell, I'm in a bit of a whimsical mood today. Alright, a Death Shadow. Sure. Okay, another Death Shadow. That is a problem. I was okay with 1. 2 is a little bit rude. A Silent Clearing. Alright, I am in desperation mode here. Truth be told, let's see what we draw. Oh, that's not an Phyrexian Altar. Phyrexian Altar is lethal, although they have the Dismember most likely at this point. If we attack with 2 Gravecrawlers, they block them both, then they dismember this guy. That's pretty bad for us. So I think the play here is to pass the turn and get clattered for a big old 4 to the face. Another Brainstorm. Sure. Blue decks are good. There's a Wasteland, goodbye Cavern of Souls, which isn't actually the one I care about the most. The one I care about is the white off the Scrubland, I think. Casting uncountable zombies, that moment has passed. They're in play. If only we could cast uncountable Phyrexian Altars and also not get dismembered. So this dismember will lose them 4 life. So each of these shadows will do an additional 4 damage. So that's 16 damage coming our way, which is a lot more than I'm prepared to deal with. So they can blow up the Corpse Knight, bash us for 16, and then... yeah. Alright, they're paying some life, so they're not bashing us for 16. That's interesting. So there's the Dismember gone, so they probably don't have the Swamp anymore either, to be honest. So this is 12. Oh, they're attacking... okay, they are attacking both. We can't block, so we don't really have any choices to make here. In the upkeep, I think I will fetch the Thin here. Actually, that's a terrible idea. What am I doing? I've just cut ourselves completely off of Rally. Oh my god. What a punt. Oh, they didn't punish us for it. But we are dead anyway. We can't kill our opponent this turn, and they will swing back and kill us. Never fetch the Thin. That's the rules. Okay, so we want Swords to Plowshares. I think I'm more interested in that than our Cabal Therapies. And I think we just go back in again. We could trim 1 Phyrexian Altar if we wanted to bring back in the Cabal Therapy. But honestly, I think this is fine. Alright, this plays. Hello, champion. This is the classic zombie aggro hand from standard of like 12 years ago, whenever it was. Or actually, no. Was that when this was from? Actually, no, this wasn't even in the old zombie deck I'm thinking of, was it? The old zombie decks I'm thinking of was just playing worse guys than this. Right, we lost our other champion. Understood. We do not have a second black source yet, which is a little bit sad. Love to draw one. Bam, there's a card that doesn't do that. Alright, let's smash down this then. This is susceptible to a daze, but it will set our opponent back a little bit. And I think we just have to be mana efficient here, because the things we're doing aren't necessarily the most powerful. So we need to try and push our advantage where we can. Alright. So what's going to happen here is we're going to reduce our opponent's life total a bunch. Then they're going to Death Shadow us. But they know about our Plow. So that's going to be a tricky one. Alright, Wasteland, we're going to lose our only black source. Because they know that's our only black source. Which is exactly what I would do. Because I love Wasteland and people. Fatal Push, that's a pretty good one. Okay. So, to win this game, we need to draw a black source. Now, if you've been watching this league, you'll know that my ability to draw lands at the appropriate times with this deck is close to 0. Sure. Alright. Come on, Grizzly Bear. Come on. Do nothing good. Nothing good. Nothing good. It's never felt like we're very far away from winning any of these games. I think on like another day we could be like XO at this point. Just cruising through. Which is weird, because I don't think this deck is necessarily great. But it's doing okay. Pluto Delta. Alright, so we're going to see like a Ponder. Yep, there it is. Alright. What are we looking at here? A black creature. It's not really what I asked for. Okay, let's bash away with the Wayward Servant. Right, what's our opponent going to be up to? Reducing their life total. No? Okay, so they don't have a Death Shadow in hand. Or I guess they don't want to play it into the Plow. We do have 2 Plows now, which is something. Okay, we have 3 Plows, which is something. But they're all very dazable. Is this a time where they finally kill our terrible little man? He's just like a little mummy guy. Orcish Bowmasters, you say? Okay. You get to ping the Wayward Servant. Okay. Are you going to block with your Orc army and then we are going to plow it? Or are you going to double block to make sure it's gone? Let's plow this to keep our guy alive. It's not pretty and it's probably getting dazed, but alright, no, we get to keep our Grizzly Bear. There is a Ponder. What is this going to be? Got a Watery Grave. They don't know about these other 2 Plows. Alright, there is a Murky Boy. That's a pretty good target for the old Swords to Plowshares in our hand. Maybe they were trying to bait out the Plow using their other one. They do have a Daze. And they just don't care about losing a fraction of a card, which is correct. Alright, Murky Boy, go to bed. Yeah. Now we've improved our opponent's life total. I guess we're just going to sit there and stop this Bowmasters attacking. Sad. I think giving them 8 life means that the idea of just trying to race them with this Grizzly Bear isn't going to work anymore. So now I have Force of Will mana hardcast. But maybe, I think you probably just protect your Murktide there and just get the game over and done with. Oh, if they attack here though. Am I supposed to block? I block, they Bowmasters. So I trade my Wayward Servant for a Bowmasters. I don't like that. They might have just mind games me completely there. It's only 1 damage, but the psychic damage was enormous. Carrion Feeder. Sweet. 22 lands, you say. 22 of them. Once again, we seem to have been... What, we're 13 cards into our deck now. So we've drawn 6 cards and not found a land. That is unfortunate. They're going to take our Swords to Plowshares. We will Swords to Plowshares thing, and we don't care about what they take here because none of it does anything. They're going to take one of our single black mana cards. Alright, opponent, you carry on with your superior turn. They are flooding out a bit, so if we can draw out, maybe there's a way that we get back into this. But the basic planes doesn't feel like a thing that's making me particularly happy, right? Yeah, just take one of these guys. I don't think they care about it. It's just whatever, really. I think the correct pick is probably a Stitcher's Supplier, though, because Gravecrawler is our combo. And I think they've seen enough to know that that's the case. Alright, Zombie. Carrion Feeder. I don't want to walk our Wayward Servant into a Bowmasters that I telegraphed earlier. So let's pass. They're going to end a turn, Bowmasters, and ping our Carrion Feeder. And I'm okay with that. Yep, there it is. The reason I didn't play the Stitches Supplier is because I'd rather have the black mana so I can immediately play the Gravecrawler if we mill it. I think that's a higher upside than having a Carrion Feeder in play. Carrion Feeder can't block. I guess it could attack and maybe do some stuff if we find a Gravecrawler, but we're kind of just in the we need black mana phase of the game, which is what I like to call happening every round, apparently. Actually, no, we needed white mana one game to be. This is another telegraphed Bowmasters we don't need to jump into. I like our opponent's patience of waiting for these Bowmasters. Right. Like, it's not our opponent's fault that we're having a bad time over there. Like, yeah, they did wasteland us and stuff, but we're both just trying to win the game at the end of the day. Let's have a look. Right, so nothing to surgical us there. If we find a land, we might be able to kill our opponent next turn. We find a land, play the altar, sack the Stitches Supplier for black, see if we find a Gravecrawler, and go off. If we don't, we play the other Stitches Supplier, sack it for black, do the same again. So we get 9 looks, 3, 6, 9, 12, 10 looks, because we have the draw for turn as well. Actually, no, the draw has to be a land. So, yeah, it's 9 looks. Now, they're probably going to ping off the Stitches Supply now anyway. That's fine. We were going to do that ourselves. I guess that means we can't go off next turn, actually. So that does delay us a turn if we find the land. Also, we haven't milled over lands, really, either. So that's kind of impressive. There is a swamp from our opponent. They've got a lot of lands over there. They are flooding. Screw beats flood at the end of the day, if you draw out of it. And we're close. I can feel it in my bones. Uh-oh. Where's this? We haven't given them a force of will target for a while, so I'm expecting that as an option. And just fetch into void timings, or is this a big Murktide? 3. Oh, just a hard cast troll. Okay. Do we play around a daze here if we draw a land? Pretty skeptical if we do, but I don't know, let's see. Well, we didn't draw a land, so that answers that question. Let's... Oh, some real... Alright, let's have a look. Gain a bit of life again. We're going to get bashed for a lot of damage though. But this does open us up for drawing a land and winning the game next turn. And it can be any land. Right, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we can. Any land gives us a shot to win the game. Now our opponent might answer whatever we're doing. They've got 2 cards in hand. Alright, sending in the boys. We do not want to block with the Stitches Supply because we want to sack this for black mana so that we can actually win the game. They might just be sandbagging a surgical extraction. An Undead Augur. That doesn't do it here. So this is 6, 7, 8. Okay. So we have one more turn to try this out. Can we get there on the last turn? We will take 8. Feel they have a force of will. Feel in my bones. Well, we have an option available to us that might win us the game. So here we are. Yeah. So that turn they tapped out for the troll. If we'd have had it then we'd have been laughing. But no. And we can't block this and it kills us. Oh, yikes. Again, I just don't think it's our deck that's the problem today. As weird as that is. Because we've been flooded. We've been screwed. Like, yes, you could argue that the fact we're not a blue deck is the problem. Because playing blue decks is easy mode in Legacy. Is the truth. Because you get to smooth your draws out. And we don't really have that luxury. But like, look how many cards we went in. Even with the mills. We didn't see a Marsh Flats until like here. Right? That's so many cards. Like, we've seen nearly half of our deck. And this is all the lands we found. That's statistically unlikely. But maybe I'll have some thoughts about that at the end, and maybe we can adjust things. There's no point just saying, oh, well, we were unlucky. You can always learn something. Let's go to round 4. All right, we're on the play. Okay, silent clearing. Don't ruin my day. I don't remember having this many mana problems when I played a similar build with only 20 lands. I still think I might have had mana problems in that one, but I had 2 lands. And I'm obviously playing a better build in that one. But not quite putting the pieces together. We have a fan of the channel. Always lovely to see. How much are they going to bury me, though? Everyone else has had a pretty good... Uh-oh. Alright, what flavour of Chrome Mox deck are we? Are we... Okay, so a Red White Initiative, which if you are on my Patreon, you'll know that I said is the... I think it might be not necessarily the best deck, but I think it is definitely one of my picks for a very good choice for Eternal Weekend. I'm recording this before Eternal Weekend. You'll probably see it afterwards. But, yeah. Undead Augur. Sure. Wayward Servant, you say? I'd rather try and double spell. Having these pain lands is, unsurprisingly, a real pain. So we're going to try and double spell next turn. We're going to be more likely to do that. And we're going to get this source of life back to offset our City of Brass-esque lands. Alright, opponent. Oh, Brutal Cathar. So they're playing the human build that I played on my channel the other day. No. Yes, it should have gone up by now. I'm not sure if it's been played by the time... Oh no, I think it has been played by the time this video has gone out. By the time I'm recording this one, I think the video's gone out, which means that I might know our opponent's exact list. It was just like a list that did really well in a challenge. I think it won a challenge, actually. It's not exactly rocket science. What are we doing here? We're playing a Corpse Knight. I'm playing a Corpse Knight. God, these lands are absolutely slaying us. Alright, we need to have quite a specific set of draws. We need land and altar, and we need the Stitcher Supplier to find us the Gravecrawler. Alright, so our opponent's found the 4th mana source, so we're going to find a initiative creature all up in our business now. And that's probably going to be the end of the game next turn. Because this is going to come in. They're going to bash for 3 here. I guess we can double block and just trade 1 guy for the Peacekeeper. That's not the worst. It's certainly not the best either. But a removal spell will ruin our day. And they are holding up Swords to Plowshares. There's a big pause on this attack. Oh, are they mind gamesing me or not? I think we need to... They're going to Swords to Plowshares this, but I don't know if we get to play around this one. God, Silent Clearing's still terrible. Here comes a plow. There it is. Yeah. And that's just going to be us toasted, I think, here. Absolute toasted. Gravecrawler. Oh, I hate these lands. Why are you playing me like this? A Cabal Therapy. Don't care about you. So now we don't have a combo engine. If we play Altar, we don't have enough mana to do the thing either. If our opponent attacks us here, it's going to be 7 trample. And then 8, 9, 10. So we take 7, 8, 9. And then we die to trap next turn. Yeah, I don't know how we beat this. Alright. I do not think I'm going to have a wonderful time in this matchup. As you can probably imagine. Cabal Therapies, get out of here. I think we just want to plow stuff. Keep our combo so we can go over the top. Do we want some Thoughtseize to poke a hole on the play? I don't think so. Rally is a little slow. And if they're exiling our creatures with white removal, they're less likely to come back. So maybe I'm slightly off of that and would rather have 1 therapy. Let's try that. Alright, this is a single land hand. Like, it has a turn 1 drop. It has a plow. Has another turn 1 drop. Oh, gee. Am I really going to go down this well again? Sure. I think this hand is good enough. Like, if that was a swamp, I would not keep... I would mulligan for sure. But the fact that we can remove their thing, if they do like a big turn 1 initiative play, we remove their guy, then we get the initiative, and then we're okay. And if they play a Brutal Cathar, we can at least kill it. But like, the ideal play from our opponent here is a turn 1 initiative creature. Okay, a Brutal Cathar. That is not exciting to me. It makes me sad. Silent clearing. So we found the land, though. We found the land. What do we want to play? I think we want to get our boy, the mummy, in. Let's see. It's kind of... This little guy here. It's going to do some stuff for us. So if they don't do anything, it'll transform here. Which is not the ideal one for us. As they play 2 spells, it'll transform back. Okay, we're drawing lands though. I'm pleased with this development. Do we get basic? Do we get Scrubland? I don't think our opponent's playing Moon here. But it's relatively free to play around it, so I think we will. Okay, I think we want the Wayward Servant here. And then... if we play another spell, this will flip. And it will kill a creature. But then we can just plow it. Interesting. Yeah, I'm in for letting it flip and taking another creature. Because when we get them back, they'll all do their things. Well, they'll all trigger on the Wayward. Because they're going to take the Wayward Servant, because it's the best creature I have. Which is a sorry indictment for our board. But if they... yeah, so they're going to take the Wayward Servant here. And then when we plow their Cathar, then we'll be alright. And they'll both see each other come in. And the backside of this is only pay life anyway, so it's not the worst for us. Rick. What is this going to give it? Vigilance and lifelink. Those are good abilities, as it turns out. I believe they will attack here. Yep. 2 life. Be my guest opponent. This only pumps them if you've got more humans. Can't remember how many it is. 4 or something. Ooh, Phyrexian Altar, you say? If we play Phyrexian Altar, sacrifice Stitches Supplier. We're still not quite there actually on that, are we? So I think the correct play here is plow this guy, get our guys back. They see each other as we planned for. Look at that, instant board. Then we play our guy here. Also, can we just enjoy that we're playing zombies versus the Walking Dead guy? Yeah. Pretty cool. And next turn, if there is a Gravecrawler in the top 4 cards of our library, we win the game. If the board stays roughly the same. Right. There's a plow on the least important creature. Big fan of that. Caves of Chaos Adventurer. Sure. Come on, Gravecrawler. Come on, deck. Just do it one time for us. Against the old Initiative Menace as well. That'd be lovely. All right. So you're saying there's a chance. If we block here, that gives us another draw. And then we can still sack the Undead Augur. Come on, Augur. Or Stitches Supply. Either of them. Carrion Feeder. That's not it. Gravecrawler. Okay, we've got it. Oh, we get to finally do the thing. I'm so happy. I don't believe this deck plays Solitude and they don't have the mana for it anyway. Here we go. I don't have to tell you how pleased I am with what's about to happen. Unless there's something horrible that I've completely missed that's going to ruin our day. But 1, 2, 3. Let's play this. Play this Gravecrawler. Always yield to this. Always yield to this. Yeah! I told you we would do it at least once, so I'm not a liar. Let's go to the final game of this round. I like how we've boarded. I think we just want removal. We don't really want to mess around with anything else. Let's go in. Do we? Oh, do I want this rally? No, I don't think we do. We have a removal for their thing, so we can play a 1-drop, hope to kill an initiative creature, and then steal the initiative. That is an acceptable way to try and play a game of Magic the Gathering. Is it good? I don't think I need to explain that. That's probably not. But oh, did our opponent just skip their first turn? That's pretty huge for us. I've done that many times, and I've done it on camera and embarrassed myself. So no judgment from me at all. We need all the help we can get, to be honest. Opponent's making a choice in a Cavern. I'm pretty sure that it's just humans in the decks. I played it the other day and I don't seem to recall playing much else. So it's not even running elementals like Fury and Solitude. Okay, they've lost connection from the game. That explains what happened there. our opponent's back. Do I want a Corpse Knight or do I want an Augur? I hate Silent Clearing though. I'm going to play the Augur. Bash for 2. City of Traitors. We're going to see an Anointed Peacekeeper. Alright. That does cause us a little bit of annoyance with what we have in our hand right now. So this will come in tapped. And then we'll crack it for planes that won't come in tapped. Would I like to draw a card? Yes, I would. Our opponent does not want us to draw a card. Yep. So this turn we're going to see what is, I suspect, an initiative creature. Seasoned Dungeoneer. This cannot hit Thalia because she is a soldier, if I remember correctly. Yeah, human soldier. But yeah, this is pretty potent. I'm wondering if they're going to attack at all. If they attack, they open themselves up to plow. Alright. They've given us a chance to take the initiative. And we might be able to hold it, which is a surprise to me. But it's possible. Let's crack this for basic planes. Let's plow this Dungeoneer. And then I would sacrifice an Augur to keep the initiative, I think, here. And then I'll play this white source tapped, I guess. Talia's doing some work. We can throw our Augur under the bus, or they could plow it, or they could Brutal Cathar it. There's some options. Or they could just play an initiative creature. Yep, that is an option. I enjoyed the initiative for that very brief moment we had it. What are they going to pump? Their Seasoned Dungeoneer. We haven't made a lot of headway on their life total though. But we are not that far from comboing. If they attack with the Thalia, we can steal the initiative back. Alright, that's not the one to help us combo here, is it? So I think we play this. Actually, no. We attack with the Gravecrawler. Would you like me to draw a card, opponent? No, you wouldn't. In that case, we get the initiative here. I would like to scry here. I think that's more important right now. Carrion Feeder can go on the bottom. Augur can go on the bottom as well. We're looking for some combo-tastic ability. Play this out. Play this guy out off of our basics, I think. Stash not so helpful. Spooky Skeleton, though. I like a Spooky Skeleton. They will get the initiative back this turn. But they're in a spot where we either draw a card or we get the initiative off them with our Gravecrawler, which is kind of interesting way of doing it. Do I want to draw a card here and prevent 3 damage? So we'll take 5 this turn and 5 next and 10 next turn. So that will be lethal. So we probably have to throw our Augur under the bus here to save 3 life. It does draw us a card, which is the thing we're actively trying to do right now. Champion of the Perished. It's not quite the one we're after. Again, we're in a game where we don't feel a million miles away, but if we look up, our opponent's got 6 cards in hand. That's a staggering amount of cards. Especially to not be playing anything. Fascinating. Wayward Servant. Do we need a bigger guy? We need more life, don't we? That's what we really need here. Archive doesn't help us. Big skin doesn't help. Have we messed this turn up? Or are we supposed to draw a card, actually? If we draw a card and it misses... No, we should have started the turn off by drawing a card. Oh my god. I hate myself so much. Why have I found the right play? Seconds too late. I wish Arena would also, like, do the opposite. Oh wait, if I just made another misplay. By playing this champion, we could have played the altar. Right? Because we get the stash here. Oh my god, did I just make 2 massive punts in a row? Oh, wow. That is on me, deck. Yikes. So now if they kill our creature, we're dead. If they find a thing on top of their library, we're dead. Okay. Please miss Seasoned Dungeoneer. That's what we're waiting for here. It missed. Oh my god, are we not going to get punished for our mistake? Now they are holding up Swords to Plowshares mana. And we're on 1 life. Not that the 1 life is really going to make the difference here, but... Okay. They're ploughing the Gravecrawler. We did not deserve to draw the Gravecrawler then. We deserve to lose that one. Now our opponent did skip their first turn, and if they hadn't, then we'd probably die. So, yeah. Sorry, deck. That was on me a little bit. Our opponent did punt their whole first turn by accident. And we found the correct play as we put the wrong play on the stack. Yikes. Yeah, that's embarrassing. We have one more round to go. The deck deserves to win a round, for sure. So let's go to it. Right, our opening hand for round 5 is a 5-lander. Despite being burnt by not having lands a few times, I will be throwing this one back. It's just not enough action to play with. If there was some better stuff going on here, like if this was something, what's it called? Carrion Feeder. At least it would do something, but it doesn't do anything here. It's just slightly better, I think, but not by much. I think we'll keep this and throw away the Scrubland. We can get plains if we want it, but we can use white off of the Cavern anyway. A Caracas. Alright, we're not playing Legends, so that's fine. I think I'd rather play around Wasteland for a turn than some kind of Force of Will here. It's possible our opponent could be Force of Willing, but we're more likely to see Plows, Prismatic Endings, stuff like that. There we go. Alright. A Lotus Petal. Alright, we're seeing another initiative matchup. That's what this selection of cards tells me our opponent's playing. Alright, here we go. Caves of Chaos Adventurer. That is better than what we're doing. It's almost embarrassing if we play this Corpse Knight in the face of it, but play it we must. Carrion Feeder. That's not really where we're at right now. Am I going to regret playing out its basic planes? Almost certainly. Should have been the Cavern, I think. Although this does give us access to a rally line, but rally is a long way away from where we are right now. Right, so what's next from our opponent? 4th Eorlingus. Oh, they've got knights too. So attack with 1 knight here, I think. Oh no, just bashing with this and having 2 blockers back. Yep, that seems pretty good. I think we're basically dead next turn. Not sure we're supposed to draw. Is there like a weird line that gets us there? I don't think so. Alright. Could be a quick round. Give me my plows. Say goodbye to these therapies. And I think that'll do. Alright. We don't have a plow, but we've got some pressure so that we can try and take the initiative. So I'm certainly down for that. 4 drops on turn 2 are quite a lot for us to deal with sometime. Alright, let's begin. Champion of the Perished. This is a threat that can actually be a reasonable size, given the right circumstances. Ancient Tomb. Lotus Petal, we're going to see a turn 1 4 drop. No, just Laelia. This is not that scary. Like, it's big and it's going to grow 1 every turn. And it can sometimes draw them cards too. But it's not as scary as the initiative. Right, so let's have a little Stitcher's Supplier. And let's have a Cavern on Zombie. Play Gravecrawler. Behold my mighty 3/3 zombie. Look at this. We're winning the race. That Ancient Tomb is going to help us out a little bit. We can go wide around an initiative creature if they play one. Right, they're going to attack with Laelia first, see what they find off the top. An Ancient Tomb. Is that what you really want here, opponent? I don't think it is. I don't think we're blocking here. Caracas. Silent Clearing. It's kind of an awkward one. Let's draw a card. Another land. We're playing that game, aren't we? I think we leave back the Stitcher's Supplier this time and it can block. Ah, they're ploughing our Stitcher's Supplier. Interesting. Alright. I imagine they're probably attacking first. So this is a warrior. Is that one of the types? I can't remember now. It is one of the types. Yeah, so they'll play this first. That makes sense. Can't remember the party types. Playing too much Baldur's Gate. Can't remember what all the types are because there's more of them in Baldur's Gate than there are in the party type for Magic the Gathering. So this is going to come in and bash us for 5. They're going to get a card off the top that's probably not going to do anything. A Chrome Mox. Okay, they could play that if they wanted to. A Seasoned Dungeoneer. Okay, so that's going to be what I would describe as a significant problem for us next turn. They are playing the Chrome Mox. So they can hold up a potential plow this turn. Wow, if they're putting a Chrome Mox away in this stage as well, that's kind of scary. An Undead Augur. Well, you're certainly a Magic the Gathering card that doesn't do the most. Got a lot of those. Guess we play this one. This will pump our champion into a 4/4. And we attack with these two. And then we have to chump block the other guy. They can just eat the Gravecrawler if they want, but we can replay it. We draw a card here. And take the initiative. Sure, we'll get the swamp. There's an Augur. Crack this. Don't like that very much, but it is what it is. Here's a Gravecrawler. And pass. We're going to die to our own Undead Augur trigger. Certainly a possibility. Right, they're only on 4. They got a 4th Theolingus here. That's why they put the other one underneath the thing. This one destroys a creature with bigger. So this will exile our champion and will also have protection from black. Alright, and then this will swing through. And we can't block this. And we can't block this because it's going to get the... Actually, no, we can't block the Lalia because they have the Seasoned Engineer trigger. Oh, we were dead anyway to the Lalia because of Seasoned Engineer, right? Yeah. We just got crushed there. Yuck. That is, unfortunately, the end of the league. We finished 0-5, which is obviously not good. But let's talk about the deck. Hand on heart, I honestly think this is by far the best 0-5 deck I've ever played. This deck felt pretty reasonable. The things that were jamming us up a lot of the time weren't actually problems with the deck necessarily. So we had, early on we got screwed in one game and flooded, and that lost us an entire round. Then we had a game where we milled over all of our white sources with our Stitcher Supplier, which cost us the game. We had a protected win. We just didn't have the second white source. We got screwed and flooded again a few times along the line. Now, obviously that's a risk of playing non-blue decks. Like I said earlier, blue decks is easy mode in Legacy because you can fix your hand up quite often. You can smooth things out, and it does make your life a lot easier. But I felt our drawing cards was very, very below rate on what should be happening with this deck. In terms of just the raw numbers of what we have. We have 22 mana sources, and we were sometimes struggling to find a third one in half of our deck at one point. And that is just pretty outrageous. Normally, like, we saw a quarter of our deck and didn't find a third mana source on at least 2 occasions. And I think that is some pretty wild variance. So that aside, how does the deck actually feel and operate? Well, honestly, I think the things it does, like, it felt pretty good. Like, we were so close to winning a lot of those games, as weird as it was. And it's amazing I am this positive after an 05, because normally 05 is like an absolute stain on your channel. But obviously we're trying something a bit weird and silly here. But this deck did not feel like an 05. We did some genuinely powerful things. We did punt one of our rounds as well. Let's not forget that. We punted the round versus Red White Human initiative. We should have had that if we'd have thought for literally 1 second more than we did before we put our spell on the stack. But there we are. That's obviously going to tilt me a lot. But one of those things. So there's definitely some moments in here where the deck really shined. And I think it, was doing some quite powerful stuff. We didn't really do very much with Carrion Feeder. That felt like a little bit of a weak link at times. It was just another X1 that was getting picked off by things. So maybe that's somewhere we could look to change. The Cabal Therapy didn't feel that useful either. So I think if I was looking to change this, I'd consider maybe something about these cards. I think the Rally the Ancestors, like there was turns where if we drew it, we win the game straight up. There was a turn where we drew it and it would win us the game if we had the white sources in. I'm almost tempted to try a build with Undead Butler, which is like a 2-mana guy that you sometimes see in Hogak lists that mills your library a little bit, and then when it dies, I think it mills again and then returns a creature from your graveyard to hand. But we can have a little bit more mill in the deck and run some more Rally the Ancestors and maybe go up 1 land to help accommodate that. And then what we'd be doing is doing more combo type stuff. So we have our, our 3-card combo, but then we can also just mill ourselves a bunch, cast Rally, bring back like 2 or 3 of these guys and some other zombies and just dome our opponent for a huge amount of damage. And that might be quite good. Now, Rally does make things like Carrion Feeder better because it allows you to bring something back that lets you sack other things. But maybe there's another option we have there, and I'm going to have a look. But we want to keep our mana cost down to make sure that the deck flows the way we want it to. So maybe I'll go back to drawing board and have a look. But I'm telling you now, I quite enjoyed playing this deck. The way we lost was quite frustrating, but the actual deck didn't really feel to blame for them. One of the losses was down to me. One of them was us getting absolutely smashed up by initiative. And the others were all, like, close at times, apart from when our deck decided that it just didn't want to play. And I think, that's as close as you can get to an endorsement for a deck when you go 0-5, right? But again, playing another land would be a little bit awkward, maybe? I don't know. I'll have to have a think about the mana base. If you've got any thoughts on the mana base, I'd like to know. Maybe we could try and speed it up with like some Chrome Moxes. But that obviously comes with risk factor as well. There is also the option of playing more colours and going more tribally and running the Blue Lord, which has a similar text to this, but it's whenever a zombie you control dies, I think, your opponent loses 1 life, but it also pumps your zombies +1/+1, if I remember rightly. So you could use that and have like another thing that lets you combo off, as well as being something that's good into Plague Engineer. Also, we played someone who had main deck Plague Engineer against our tribal deck, and they had it in hand in game 1. So I can feel a little bit tilted by that too. But genuinely, I think this deck feels like it has room to be a deck that you could go 3-2 in leagues with. I don't think you're going to be winning any challenges with this deck. But I think there's definitely improvements to be made, and I would like to play this deck again. I feel the deck really was hard done by in this league, and actually, I can't imagine being more positive about an 0-5 league than I am right now. And the things we're doing are quite fun. And we, our beatdown plan seems reasonable. Maybe we can change things up, put a little bit more power in there. I don't think we want these Cabal Therapies that much anymore. Maybe we'll drop the Therapies for something rather than the feeders. Maybe that's the plan. So maybe we'll get rid of these Therapies, have a few butlers, like 3 butlers and a rally. And maybe change up the mana base. We can run the fast black-white lands and try that. And see if that's a little bit better and saves our life total a bit from silent clearing. Obviously, if we flood out, that's kind of annoying. But it's like, what are we supposed to do? Like, we flooded out a bunch and we mana screwed a bunch. Like, that's going to happen some amount of time. I think we're just unlucky with the way the statistics hit there. I don't think adding more lands is going to help when we did get flooded as much as we did. It's just one of those things we have to deal with. Maybe there's a way that we can try and smooth draws a little bit. Maybe there's something else that we can do to try and help that front. Not entirely sure. If you've got any thoughts, let me know. I'd like to hear them. Our sideboard was basically just boarding in Source to Plowshares every matchup. We didn't really play against the common decks. We wanted the other stuff. And that's sometimes how the league's going to be. I think against some decks, like combo decks, maybe if we just had 4 Thoughtseize and some Cabal Therapies, we could beat our way through some combo decks. If we're a bit fortunate. So, maybe there's some matchups were a little bit annoying there too, where everyone was kind of playing fairish Magic. But yeah, honestly, I quite like this deck. I don't think it's there yet, but I think there's something here, and we were a little bit hard done by. So if you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. If you've got any thoughts to improve the deck, I'd really like to know, because you're going to see this again at some point, whether you like it or not. Excuse me. So with that, we are done for the day. So remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I am trying to hit 2,500 subscribers in the first couple of months of the new year. So if we can help me do that, that'd be wonderful. And I have a Patreon that now does monthly giveaways for a donation deck on the channel, and it's only like $2 a month or something to be part of it. So why not support me that way? I appreciate it. But just keep watching my content, enjoying Legacy, and telling me how to improve zombies, and we'll be all good. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.